Thank you, Kerry. Great presentation so far. So now that Adam's told us a little bit more about what this report is, and that Kerry's told us a little bit more about supply chain disruptions, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about business continuity and supply chain resilience. So let's go to the slides. Business continuity is a set of planning and preparatory activities intended to ensure that an organization's critical business functions will continue to operate despite serious incidents. This means that if an organization faces serious concerns and serious trouble because an incident occurred, they be able to restart operations as soon as possible. There are three key elements to business continuity: resilience, contingency, and recovery. Let's go to the next slide. As we now know, there are many things that could go wrong, but unfortunately, top management appears to give little importance to these issues. 28.6% of respondents confirmed that top management is giving little importance to supply chain disruptions. This is an increase from 21.1% from last year. It is no coincidence that the lack of importance to the matter is a direct result on the absence of reporting supply chain disruptions. Less than one-third of the respondents mentioned that having supply chain resilience was a priority for their organizations. Top management must make this issue a priority for organizations in order to be prepared for any incidents. Let's move to the next slide. Despite not having it as a priority, 72% of respondents said that their organizations have supply chain business continuity arrangements, which is a good thing because it represents a continued awareness of business continuity in ensuring supply chain resilience. The bad thing is that as the size of an organization decreases, so does their likelihood of having business continuity. But now if we look at the right side of this slide, we can see that organizations simply have too many suppliers. More than half of the organizations report having a minimum of 21 key suppliers. 5.7% of organizations mentioned having more than 1,000 suppliers. This is a lot of suppliers, and most of these have no business continuity arrangements, which makes them vulnerable in case they find some disruptions. So we need to make sure that suppliers and companies are in accordance so that in case of an incident, they can know how to react. Since companies sometimes have too many suppliers, they need to tighten up their requirements. That's why organizations and companies are paying more attention to the standards that their suppliers follow, which is an increase from 39% to 45.1%. Also, they're paying attention to the certifications that these suppliers may have. More than 50% of organizations are now requiring documentation, but still 20% of organizations do not ask for any type of documentation. To be honest, none of these will matter if businesses ask for a supplier assurance and they ask for certifications and then they fail to check on it. They need to make sure that their suppliers are complying with everything. And on a more positive note, businesses are now more likely to include business continuity as part of contract talks. So now, let's hear from Laura. She'll give us a very valuable critique about this report.